you know what cowrie shells are?
No.
It's like sea snail shells.
Okay.
So they were used as like currency for thousands of years. They were even more popular than coins.
Seashells.
Sea snail shells.
Sea snail.
Oh, sea snail.
Even some places up until the 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Never heard of that. You know, for your information, there is an app which is going to save the world, and that app is called JoyScore. It's going to save the world and this country.
In our chapter, we talk about how the asset score is a health check for your finances. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another adventure in the Professor Joy podcast. Welcome, everybody. My name is Gary Metzger. I am the professor of journalism at California State University, Long Beach. I am joined by the most talented social media person, Stephanie.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
And I guess we better introduce the person who started all this madness, Professor Joy.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Thank you so much.
I am going to start off with trouble, so I hope you're ready.
Oh my God.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. So, interestingly enough, this week in our adventures on Wealth Score, we talk about assets and how you have to manage your assets wisely. And so when we're taping this, everybody, it is a Sunday of the very first day of June. And one of the major journalism institutions in America had a very interesting story, Professor Joy, about one person who apparently hasn't been using their assets to the best of their ability.
Oh.
And I would be talking about somebody who has been abusing drugs while working for our president. Ketamine, mushrooms, things like that.
And while he was in White House,
While he was in White House.
in Air Force One.
So you know who I'm talking about.
I don't.
You know?
Yeah.
Huh?
No. I don't follow the news, so I'm very intrigued.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Stephanie, this person has been put in charge of cutting employees, allegedly trying to save the country money.
Okay.
Liberals used to love him because he produced an electric car.
Oh, our man Elon.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. There is a huge story about the antics that he was doing in the White House and things like that. And so the president has kind of severed ties a little bit with this person. But talk about somebody who hasn't been using their assets well and whose children, at last count, it was 14.
Wow.
14 has been really abusing drugs and not using their assets very wisely, Professor Joy.
Well, actually, even the president, he actually, during first term, was caught misusing and misappropriating assets, inflating or deflating for his benefit and advantage. And actually, he is now to be the most corrupted president in the history of this country. When he went to this Middle East tour, it was all to make money off all these Arabs, you know. So he would side with anybody and anything as long as he can personally benefit from it.
I think what's sad about this is that these are people who could be bringing joy into the lives of many, and instead, this whole Doge adventure, there was a story today that said that people are paying more money not less money.
In fact, that's interesting you mentioned that it just came out that they are not able to find evidence of saving money.
Correct.
In fact, to the contrary, they're saying they're spending more money because he did it foolishly. Now, did you know that he has all the data on everybody in this country? This guy is going to be abusing it forever. He went in and Donald Trump pretty much gave him all the keys to all the data, like Social Security, you name it. I mean, he just has, and he was just copying it left and right.
They almost shut down TikTok because they were worried about China doing that.
Yeah.
Just to do it anyway.
And now he's doing it. So, but it is what it is, and that's okay. For your information, there is an app which is going to save the world,
Mm-hmm.
and that app is called JoyScore. It's going to save the world and this country, and even criminals like Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Zuckerberg, and you name it, all of them, because it does not believe in heavy use or bias, So it's designed to help everybody. There is something very interesting, and I should send it to you. There's an app called Joy 101.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually developed by one of the news anchors. It's not out yet.
Okay.
But she talked about it.
Really?
Yeah. So, and it's very interesting.
We should try and get in touch with them. I'd love to have them on the show.
We are. In fact, Anamika is trying to get in touch with them. So,
Joy 101. Wow. Well, I'm ready for the JoyScore app.
yeah.
It would be great.
Yeah.
It would be great. So, Professor Joy, we are traveling into chapter 6 of our Wealth Score book. And we're dealing with assets and how you can gauge how are your assets. Are they good? Are they bad? What you should be doing to make your assets stronger, things like that. And so in our chapter, we talk about how the asset score is a health check for your finances. And just like with the credit score, it lets you know how good you are with credit. The asset score reveals how strong, stable, and growth ready your finances are. It tells you how well your assets are performing and how prepared you are to meet financial goals in the near future and longer down the line. So our asset score checklist measures cash and savings, how much money you can readily access, investments, stocks and bonds, income generating assets if you have rental property, side businesses, things like that, and retirement savings like pensions, 401ks, IRAs, things like that. So if people have a high asset score, that means you're financially secure, basically. And obviously a low score is just the opposite, that you should do things to improve your long-term security. So we say in the book that every financial decision you make shapes your future wealth.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Any examples you can share with us about that?
I stumbled into it early stages of my life, where when I came to this country in the 70s, I had saved a lot of money. And I started trying to figure out how to invest it. So I don't spend it and blow it away. Because I remember I landed in Montreal, and from Montreal to Oregon, where I was going to go for my education. So it was like maybe 2.5 week trip from Montreal. I was driving. I bought a car in Montreal and driving to Eugene, Oregon.
Did you drive all across Canada?
Uh-huh.
Did you really?
So now this is the trick part. From the time I landed in Montreal to the time I got in Eugene, Oregon, I had spent $30,000.
Most of it on the car?
Well, good part in car, but pretty much enjoying my life.
Wow.
So when I got to Eugene, Oregon, I called my brother's in-law, who was in Beverly Hills. And by the way, he lived in, do you know there was a singer called Al Jolson?
No.
Yes. It's an old singer from
Yep.
old times.
Yeah, from the 20s.
So he bought the property which used to belong to Al Jolson.
Oh my gosh.
This thing had $10 million worth of artifacts in the house, like sculptures, statues, you name it. 40 bedrooms and 6 servant quarters.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is amazing. Oh, that's crazy.
So I called him up. I said, hey, I got some money on my hand, and I'm so worried that I'm going to spend it. What should I do? He said, buy a house. I said, really? He said, yeah, just buy a house. Then you can't access it. And so I started talking to the real estate agents. Now this is like in late 70s.
Okay. And this is in Eugene? You're thinking about buying a house? Okay.
So I called an agent. I said, I want to buy a house. I said, okay. What kind of price range? I said, between $40,000 and $60,000.
That's a lot in the 70s.
Yeah. So she said, how much of it are you going to put down? I said, all of it. So you're not understanding the question. People, when they buy a property, house, they put down part of it as a down payment and they finance the rest of it.
Right.
I said, I don't want to finance anything. I want to put down the whole thing. She fell off the chair.
I would have fallen off my chair too.
So she said, what kind of an idiot is this? But I'm trying to park my money so I don't have access to it. Because I said, give me a few more months, I would spend all of it.
Right.
It would be gone.
Oh my gosh.
So I bought a house for $48,000, paid cash for it. And
How many bedrooms did this first house have? 2 bedroom, 1 bath?
2 bedrooms. And had old cherry trees, old, like 100-year-old cherry.
Oh wow.
And these cherries were like this big black. I mean, I used to have cherry parties of all my friends, all my classes, my students, in my classes, everybody, and they used to come have cherry party. They'd take a bag full of cherries home and stuff like that.
Did you become an expert in baking a cherry pie? No?
No, but here is the thing. So I bought a Volkswagen bus, and I wanted to convert this bus into a camper, So, but when I bought it, you know how the front of the Volkswagen bus is like like a little tummy,
Yes.
So it was hit and it had caved in,
Oh.
It just pushed in. So I told my wife, I said, you got to pull it out, So we have these old cherry trees, so we could, so I bought a cable, and attach it to the front of this body of the Volkswagen bus. You know?
Oh,
And I
can't
tell
wait
her
to hear
to get in the reverse gear.
Right.
To go, and pulled it up.
Oh no.
So from there, I enjoyed fixing cars because I had never fixed a car before in my life. You know, when I did this one, I said, "Oh my God! I mean, I can fix cars." So from there, I was fixing cars forever.
Oh my gosh. But when you were growing up, what were your keys to saving money so that when you came over here and you had this money, what was your secret to saving money?
The problem was when I was growing up, I really didn't have a good concept of money and saving and stuff like that. That's the reason I spent so much money just coming across.
Right.
So, because to me, money didn't mean anything. I could make money and spend money, you know. I mean, I was really making money since I was 20 years old, you know. So, for some reason, I had this knack for making money, you know. And my wife always, oh, anything you touch becomes gold. I said, no, honey, it's not that. It's what I do with it, you know. But that has been my, whatever, talent of how to make money.
Wow.
Making money and negotiating were the two skills I had from day one. I could negotiate anything, and you know, like in architecture, you have to go negotiate for your projects.
Sure.
So I have the claim that when I negotiate a project, it's my decision whether I want to get it or not. It's not their decision. And I did that. So I had a very blessed life, you know.
Do you have any savings for your son?
I have savings, but for something something I'm doing in August. But otherwise, no.
Oh.
Nothing.
Oh, okay. All right, got it. Okay. So in the chapter, Professor Joy, Steffi, we recommend that you check your assets regularly, that you invest in money-making things, that you mix up your investments, that you spread it across different areas and everything, and just don't put it all in Tesla. Diversify, exactly. Have emergency cash ready, which I think everybody should do. And of course, as we mentioned last week, pay off bad debts. You know, good debt is like education and a house, except in your case. But yeah, the high interest credit cards.
In paying off debts, also keep in mind, when you have debts, they all have different interest rates. So you try to get rid of first the debts which have higher interest rates and pay the lowest interest rate the last, you know,
Yes.
as part of the planning process. You know, there is a term which I may have mentioned it in one of the previous podcasts where in architecture we say plans don't fail, people fail to plan. Now, when you talk about the assets or financial planning, it's exactly true. Even though you may not know a lot about planning, but make an effort to plan everything. Plan your assets, plan your expenses, plan your balance sheets, you know, how much money is coming, how much is going, you know, how can you save some and things like that. But the trick to wealth management is to live below your means. You know what that means?
I do.
Okay. You know that one? Okay. So I have had friends who used to live above their means, and I had to educate them to live below their means, because unless you do that, you're not going to have anything in your life, or pot to piss in, you know, they call it.
Right. Have you ever heard of the rule of 72?
No.
That's one of the things we touched upon very briefly in this chapter, and I said, oh my gosh, what is the rule of 72? So I had to Google it and look it up. The rule of 72 lets you see how fast your investments can double. And I never knew this. So you simply divide 72 by the interest rate.
Okay.
Okay? So to get the approximate number of years in which your investment will double. So if you're investing in something or you have a savings account or something and the return is 6%, you divide the 6 by 72,
which is 12.
which is, you are very good at mathematics. It would take roughly 12 years to double your investment. And that's the rule of 72. The things you learn in this podcast, I tell you, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Do you still have the house with the cherry trees?
Huh?
Do you still have the house with
Do you still own that
No,
house in
I sold it.
Eugene?
Okay.
Why?
Just wondering.
Yeah.
In fact, we sold it and then we took we had a camper, a long, almost 30-foot camper that we took across all the way to Vancouver. Then took a ferry to British Columbia,
Right?
back to Portland and drove across,
Wow.
But so visited the house. We didn't own it at that time, but we asked the owners if I can have the kids look at the house.
Right,
You're
right.
welcome, Russ.
Aw,
So
very
beautiful.
fun. Yeah. That is so great. Okay. So once again, and we say this again and again throughout the book, that buying things feel good, but the happiness fades and you want more.
Yeah.
So that's why you bought a house and everything, so you wouldn't spend all your money. So at the end, you two, we say what truly counts when you're looking at assets and asset management, things like that. You want to keep learning, keep growing, become the best version of yourself. Ask yourself, am I healthy, physically and mentally? Do I have a genuine, loving relationship? And are you following your passions and your purpose? I think all those three need to ask that a lot.
So you're talking about assets and investment.
Yes,
Right.
yes we are.
What do you think is the most beneficial asset you can invest it in life?
Personally, I would say my health.
Health and education.
Okay.
So there is research which supports that people with higher education increase the chances of their being able to earn much higher income than people who have not taken the advantage of education. Although some people, who cares? The millionaires who haven't gotten a bachelor's degree, true. But that's not a norm. The norm is people with more education have higher capacity to earn than people with less education. So that is the best thing you can invest money is in education.
I mean, isn't that something that we're doing, like with the homeless, with the reading programs that we're doing?
In fact, yeah, go ahead.
It's off topic. You can finish.
So now to the contrary, and I think I've mentioned this in the past, you know what is the most common factor in the lives of homeless people and people who are incarcerated? People incarcerated meaning who have gone for crimes to jail and things like that. What is the most common factor in their life?
I think I know.
You do?
I think.
Lack of education.
Yeah. They can't read.
They can't read.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we are making an effort to see if we can help them through readability, because that is the best gift we can give them,
Agreed.
you know. And it's interesting that I was involved with a research project as part of my architectural education, where we thought if you could create a place for them to live and work, it will solve the problem. And we did, but it didn't solve the problem. They ran away.
They ran away.
So the reason, or what was really holding them back is the lack of education. So instead of giving them a place to live and money and all that, we should have focused on educating them, helping them learn how to read and, you know, things like that.
Yes.
I mean, I can understand that. I didn't know that till I visited, because I donate money to Long Beach Rescue Mission. So
Right.
Jeff Levine, did you know Lauren, who used to train?
Yes.
She was my trainer.
Really?
Yeah. So in 2002, she said, hey, I got certified as a trainer. I said, congratulations. I said, why are you so sad? He said, well, I don't have a client. I said, I'm your client.
Oh.
So now, you know, she married Jeff Levine, who's the president of Long Beach
Oh
Rescue
my
Mission.
gosh.
She has 2 daughters.
What a small world. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So Jeff was walking me around, and I see this bunch of people sitting in a classroom, all in front of a monitor. I said, what are they learning? He said, learning how to read and write. I said, are you kidding me? These people don't know how to read and write? He said, no. So then I told Braden. I said, Braden, did you know that? He said, yeah. And not only that, people who are incarcerated, that's the main reason they're incarcerated, because they can't read and write.
Unbelievable.
I mean, so it's like the homeless population and the incarcerated population is all due to the lack of education.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
You go off topic first, and then I'm going to go off topic.
I was just gonna say, like, what about experiences? So what if somebody chooses to like live experience, like travel the world, rather than like save money and stuff like?
You know, everything has value. In fact, traveling and learning cultures and places is also an asset.
Yeah. Okay.
It's knowledge.
Yeah. Okay.
That wasn't off topic.
Kind of.
That was on topic. That was really good. Okay. So finding research where there is a relationship between asset score and joy was non-existent.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going off topic today.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
I have 3 topics I'd like to share. Number 1 is something that I know that JoyScore has done with different businesses, where, and especially like with breathing exercises and things like that. So there was a study done, and by the way, this is from the Weekend Wall Street Journal, Professor Joy, just so you know. There are a lot of organizations that want to make a 4-day work week the standard. Now, it can't be done in every single operation. There are some that need to work 24/7.
Right.
Like, I could never see that our postal service, for example, would ever be a Monday through Thursday operation. It just wouldn't be able to happen. So this person studied 245 businesses and nonprofits as they adopted a 4-week pilot program for more than 8,700 workers. Okay? And this wasn't only in the United States, it was in the United Kingdom, Brazil, Portugal, Germany, and South Africa. For those employees, the results of working 1 day less every week with no reduction in pay have been outstanding.
Really?
69% experienced reduced burnout, have better mental health, and see improvements in physical health. 13% of participants say they would not go back to a 5-day schedule for any amount of money.
Oh my God.
We asked them to rate the success of the trials, and on average, it was an 8.2 out of 10. And out of these 245 businesses and nonprofits, only 20 decided to discontinue the 4-day work week.
Very small percentage.
Yeah,
The
right.
rest continue.
10%. 10% of the total went back to the 5-day week and everything. Microsoft Japan is the poster child for this philosophy. And so they closed the office for 5 consecutive Fridays in August. To make it work, the company mandated that no meeting could go longer than 30 minutes. It also told managers to avoid unnecessary meetings and use face-to-face chats instead. It widely reported results for striking. Productivity increased by 40% over the trial period, while time off fell by 25%.
Wow.
And the conclusion of this, Professor Joy, Steffi, is that there's an urgency to this type of a study because of the rapid introduction of artificial intelligence.
Right.
Wiping out millions of well-paying positions. We have to think about how we adjust to this technology instead of reacting by eliminating people's jobs, which is what Doge was doing, or is doing. So that was pretty much a mess. Story number 2, you two. Did you know that there is an American hospital bed shortage? And it's in a crisis right now.
Wow.
Yes, because people are living longer, but there's other diseases that are coming around. There's a new strain of COVID I just read about today that is hitting America. So the United States has less than 3 hospital beds per 1,000 residents.
Wow.
3 hospital beds for 1,000 people. The EU has more than 5, and in Japan, the number is almost 13. On average,
Per 1,000.
yes, per 1,000. On average, Professor Joy, 75% of American hospital beds are occupied on any given day. 75%
Wow.
on any given day. And that is 11 points higher than in 2019. 75%.
You know, while we talk about the beds, so during COVID, there was a crisis.
Absolutely.
Not just in this country, everywhere in the world.
Yes.
So in England, one of the doctors researched and found that a lot of those beds were being occupied by old patients. And then they realized that old patients were being attacked by COVID the fastest. So this doctor suggested that let them stay because they're going to clear out the beds.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I mean, what a strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sick, but
Experts warn that 85% occupancy is a critical threshold at which many hospitals could cease to function properly. There's one anecdote in here about how one woman was in an emergency room lumpy stretcher thing for 10 days because
wow.
she couldn't find a room.
oh my God.
So things are getting tough out there. Finally, a fun story. And Steffi, I bet you do this, so. Now, when my kids were growing up, and I have a 21-year-old and a 24-year-old, there was a DVD set out that was called Baby Einstein. And the DVD would have like number counting, would have them sing songs and things like that, and they were fascinating. In 1993, according to this science short in the Wall Street Journal, An appealing idea took new parents by storm, it says Baby Einstein. Playing classical music to babies would make them smarter, according to a paper published in the journal Nature. Playing classical music, they get smarter. The study showed that a few dozen undergraduates were marginally better at solving puzzles after a Mozart piano sonata.
Wow.
It was called the Mozart effect. And it was a marketer's dream. Recordings packaged for infants flew off the shelves, even though the impact of Mozart on the college students' problem-solving skills was fleeting, lasting no more than 10 minutes. But as I said, this whole Baby Einstein thing was just absolutely amazing. Now, every parent would love their babies to not cry and to be easier to soothe. So a new study now shows that music can help as long as it's created with your vocal cords.
Your vocal cords.
Your vocal cords.
Really?
Yes. So this study at the Yale Child Study Center looked at how often parents normally sing to their babies and whether that frequency could be juiced by a little music education and some electronic nudges. Son of a gun in the music enrichment group reported that they had recently sung to their babies 89% of the time compared to 65% of the control group, and clearly it worked. The baby's response for those who were sung to more often tended to be calmer and less fussy, but it has to be with your voice. Though singing is not as simple as playing music to your baby, it doesn't take much, this researcher said. Parents know how to do it, and the baby is not a tough audience, right? Singing to your baby really works, and it's a very chill thing to do. And unlike the Baby Mozart, it's free. So, sing to your babies.
Let me give you a little.
Are you a good singer, by the way? I've never asked you this question.
I'm not, but I used to sing to the kids.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was their favorite song to hear, in your
Well,
opinion?
I just would sing any tune I can think.
Really? You weren't like the wheels on the bus go round and
Now,
round?
the thing which really amazed me was that when my first son was born, obviously when you're teaching and sometimes you stay up all night because the baby doesn't want to sleep, And it took us sometimes 4 hours to put him to bed.
I hear you.
And he was up in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I said, what the hell?
Well, here's a question I've never asked you. Did you ever sing to your students?
No.
Oh.
But when
I have.
you had.
Yes.
Let me tell you something very interesting. So it became a major effort to put him to bed, So we found, and this just happens to be by fluke. I used to have, in those days we had record players. So I had I don't know if you've heard of a sitarist from India called Ravi Shankar.
Ravi Shankar, of course.
So I had a Ravi Shankar's
Record album.
record.
Yeah.
So I was playing that. And I said, see.
Wait, who fell asleep? You
My
or
son.
the yeah.
So I said, no, you should look at it. So from there on, anytime we wanted to put him to bed, we put the Ravi Shankar. So that was our trick to put him to bed.
Okay.
I mean, who would have thought of Ravi Shankar helping a child go to bed?
Never in a million years.
But it just so happens.
Stephanie, you probably don't know this, but Ravi Shankar,
Have you heard of it?
Ravi Shankar taught George Harrison of the Beatles
Oh,
how to play the sitar.
oh, okay.
Sitar is a musical instrument from India. It's
Yes.
famous.
Okay,
Sitar
yes.
is famous.
Very famous.
Yeah.
So if you just Google Ravi Shankar or sitarist, In fact, Nora Jones, have you heard of
Oh,
her?
yeah.
She's his daughter.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so she is famous because he trained her in music.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he is a world famous
Absolutely.
sitarist.
Sitarist,
Oh, okay.
yes.
It's like we say guitarist, he's called sitarist
Yes.
because he plays sitar.
Right.
I mean, my God, if you listen to some of his, in fact, just to give you something to look into, we could find some of his sitar tunes appropriate for JoyScore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was amazing.
He was.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. But before we leave, it wouldn't be a podcast, Professor Joy, if we turn the microphone over to Steffi.
Yeah.
Steffi?
Do you know what cowrie shells are?
No.
It's like sea snail shells.
Okay.
So they were used as like currency for thousands of years. They were even more popular than coins.
Seashells.
Sea snail shell.
Sea snail.
Oh, sea-
Okay.
Even some places up until the 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
We should ask Bobby to like insert a picture of it and
Yeah.
everything. So, yeah.
So our editor does that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
amazing.
Mr. Editor? Yes.
So that's the fun fact of the day.
Okay, that was great. Well, thank you, everybody. Boy,
Beautiful.
Ravi, the things we learned today.
A lot of
Ravi
But,
Shankar.
but before you turn the microphone off,
Yes,
we have to acknowledge Bobby.
Well, thank you.
Bobby, well done.
Thank you,
We
sir.
did not have
On
to
time.
wait. On time. The minute we sat down, he started counting.
Yes, he did.
Very good, thank you.
Outstanding,
Thank
Bobby.
you, thank you.
Love you, Bobby. Thank you.
It'll be normal.
It took 8 years of preparation.
Something, things are worth waiting for,
Yeah.
Professor
Oh, my
Joy.
gosh.
Some things are worth waiting for.
And from now on, that's going to be the trend.
So, Professor Joy, maybe this aligns with the rule of 72.
Absolutely.
Have a great week, everybody. We will see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.